Why did this entire huge spike and spike after spike in meat consumption come first after all? Because it became fashionable. And there was a lot of propaganda around it, correct? People just followed. You too will need to propagate. You too will need to publicize. When I say you, I do not mean you as separate from me. I am with you. There have to be cultural steps. There have to be legal steps. There has to be action in the financial domain. And there has to be information. The meat eater must not be able to hold a place of pride in popular culture. You need to have celebrities coming out and endorsing veganism, at least vegetarianism. You need to show the good guy in popular media, in the movies, as a vegan guy. It is very important. I'm talking of practical steps. You need to have songs. You need to penetrate the mind of the audience through popular culture. And on the harder side, you have to realize that every meat eater is actually being subsidized, greatly subsidized by every non-meat eater. This is injustice. This is direct stealing of money, pinching of money from the pocket of the vegetarian or the vegan to subsidize the meat eater. When you eat meat, when you eat chicken, you are actually not paying for the environmental damage that your plate of meat has caused. You're not paying for the climate change. You're not paying for the biodiversity depletion. You're not paying for the loss of tropical jungles, green cover, nothing. None of that has been factored into the price of your tandoori chicken. But the cost is enormous. So somebody is bearing that cost. Who is bearing that cost?
Whole population.
Whole population, meaning just to help you have your chicken, everybody else is paying the price. So if you are paying rupees 200 or 300 for your plate of chicken, its actual price should be maybe 800 or 1000. And it is gross injustice that the thing is being offered to you as a subsidy. So there has to be taxation. There has to be clear, commensurate, just taxation. Two things I talked of: culture and fiscal measures. Then there has to be education. People have to know. People have to know what milk is. People have to know what meat is. People have to know the entire cycle. People talk so much about the right to information, and everybody is so curious these days. People want to gossip, people want to say, no, we want to know everything. First of all, don't you want to know what is going into your body? First of all, don't you want to know what is going into your body? So that has to be made known. Thirdly, it has to be made known that agriculture as such is not the absolutely holy profession it is made out to be. Very, very people know, very, very few people know that probably around 2/3 of all agriculture, rather 3/4 of all agriculture, is just to support meat eating. Now you'll wonder, what am I saying? You'll wonder, right? People think of farmers as some kind of pursuers of a most noble profession. They say, you should be a farmer. Especially in India. Everybody is talking about poor farmers and this and that. Everybody is talking of upholding farming. And I support that. Any person who is in need needs to be supported. But the field of farming, the entire industry of farming, the entire sector of agriculture, it has to be seen in perspective. We must know the facts. Truth has to be exposed. Out of every 4 kilograms of grain that comes out from the farmer's field, 3 kilograms goes towards feeding animals so that they can be slaughtered and the meat eaters can have their meat. That's the reality of agriculture. On one hand, we talk so much about preserving forests, and if forests go, then the habitat of so many species just disappears. You need not physically eliminate those species, you just need to cut the forests down. And those species are gone. Now, why are the forests disappearing at such a huge rate? Do you know, even as we are talking, how many acres of forest has been cleared off in the last 1 hour itself? Can you even imagine? Now go find out. You'll be startled. Even as we are discussing this, at an unimaginable pace, trees are being felled. Unimaginable pace. Why are those trees being felled? So that there can be more agriculture. That agriculture goes towards feeding the ever increasing population, because we cannot live without kids. Further, we cannot live without our chicken wings and chicken burgers and mutton this and beef that. We do not even know that to get 1 kilogram of chicken or mutton or beef, you require probably 20, 30 or 40 kilograms of grains. So most of the grains that is being raised in the farmers' fields is for the purposes of meat. That is something people must know. You cannot just blindly keep on talking of agriculture as something so holy and pious and natural. Are you getting it? Then the kids. Reach out to them. It has to be a holy war. You have to, pardon me my language, invade schools. It's a battle for the mind. The kid must grow up knowing fully well that it's monstrous to kill an animal to eat it. Are you getting it? And that would require a change in the entire value system of the kid. Veganism cannot succeed if you just keep talking of animals. You keep saying, oh, it is bad to look at animals as a commodity, it is bad to exploit animals. If man is exploiting man, why will man refrain from exploiting animals? So veganism has to be holistic, comprehensive. You may not like it to hear it this way, but veganism has to be basically a spiritual movement. Veganism has to be a movement of compassion. And when compassion comes, you will not be compassionate towards merely the animals. When compassion rises in you, then you will be compassionate towards everything, everybody, and yourself. First of all, you will cease to be cruel towards yourself, which most people are. So veganism needs to broaden its scope. You say, oh, it's bad to treat animals that way, this way. One should not use leather. But what if somebody has been conditioned to draw pleasure from tormenting the other? And there are many such people. There are cuisines around the world where animals are eaten alive. You like to have an octopus, a living octopus, on your plate, and then you take the octopus and you take it in. There are people. You have to address the entire value system. You have to ask man, who are you? What is it that you want? And how will you get it? By slaughtering somebody else. And what if it is proven that that which you really want is being hindered, impeded, obstructed by your food habits? And your food habits are not merely your food habits. Your food habit is your life habit. The way you eat is the way you live. If you are horrible with your food, then surely your life too is horrible. This has to be drawn home. So, a lot of work needs to be done. For veganism to succeed, you would actually require a new man. It's a big battle and it's worth fighting.